guys, welcome to the first week of the Maassive Readathon. If you haven't watched my last video, this might not make a lot of sense, or it still might not make sense even if you watch the video. But for the entire month of June, I'm going to be participating in the Maassive Readathon, which is MAASS. There's a whole bunch of us. We're going to be traveling across the imaginary world in Throne of Glass to attend Aelin's coronation at the end of the month. And so I'm dressed like a fae because this is probably what I would wear to a coronation. So yeah, welcome. I'm gonna try and do these weekly so that I can really go into the books that I'm reading each week, run through everything with you guys. I am really hoping to get a ton of reading done. Right now I'm sort of averaging like 12 to 14, 15 books a month, and I would love to try and get it back up to 20, which was kind of where I was at last year. And there's just so many amazing books, I just want to read them. So here is the map we will be following throughout the month of June, and I will be starting in the Briarcliff location, and that means that the prompt is read a book with a red cover. And for that, I have chosen Survive the Dome, which is a new release. I believe it came out early May, April. What is time? Anyway, it's a 2022 release for sure, and I've already had a little start today, had a little read, and it's good, but I'll get into it after I read a little bit more. But here's what we're going to be starting with. I'm going to try and do this like Tuesday to Tuesday, so hopefully I can get a bunch of reading done this week, and maybe we can talk about a bunch of books. And if you want to join in, you could jump in at any time. Whatevs. You know, it's just fantasy. I'm not following a very specific path on the map. I'm like boop, 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 just pretending that I'm flying or taking a portal. Who cares? So feel free to jump in at any time. Just check out the hashtag Maassive Readathon anywhere on Instagram. And yeah, come join the Discord. Hang out with us. It's going to be a ton of fun. All right, let's talk Survive the Dome. So this is set in Baltimore during a Black Lives Matter protest, and our main character, Jamal, who is a high school student hoping to become a journalist, he decides to attend the protest to take some photos and to write an article for his high school paper in the hopes that this article and these photos will help him get a scholarship so that he can go to university. But when Jamal arrives at the protest, a crazy thing happens. A dome covers the city of Baltimore, and it traps all of the protesters and all of the people that live in the city inside. Now, the reasoning behind this is there is a governor who is hoping to get on the fast track to the presidency, who has been secretly developing this technology. And, you know, I mean, it's pretty fucked up. Like, the way she sees it is she's like, if we're having all these protests and we just put a dome over the city and like control it, there'll be a media blackout. We can do whatever the hell we want to the people that are in there, but it will be this kind of like new fast way of controlling the population, and the dome settles over Baltimore. So right now in the story, Jamal has met this guy named Marco, and Marco has helped him get to Marco's mother's house where they're hiding out. It was pretty creepy. It felt very like Purge-like because the dome like covers the city, and then the voice of like the chief of police comes over like the whole city, and he goes, "Citizens of Baltimore, this is your chief of police. With the power granted to me by the governor of Maryland, I am placing this city in isolation. I repeat, Baltimore, Maryland is now in isolation. Report home immediately or there will be consequences. You have been warned. You have 10 minutes to disperse. Good luck." So after the 10 minutes are up, all the police come rushing in and basically take down the people who have not found somewhere to hide. But luckily for Jamal, he has his newfound friend Marco, and like I said, they're hiding out at his mom's house. But there's something going on in this in this Marco person's life. He's very secretive. And right now, Jamal is starting to find out that Marco is a part of an anonymous type group. In this book, the group is called Nemesis, and they're basically like the Anonymous of our world. And Marco seems to be a part of it. But Marco seemed to know that this dome thing was going to happen. Whatever that means, I don't know. So Jamal has followed Marco to a Nemesis meeting, and we're about to find out what Nemesis is all about and how they knew about the dome and why they all stayed in the city if they knew what was going to happen. First of all, Our Flag Meets Death got renewed for season 2. We talked it through as a crew, and we're getting to season 2. Very, 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 very happy right now. But I also wanted to give you a quick reading update because I'm almost done Survive the Dome. It's definitely gone from a 5-star to a 4-star for me. It's still really good. I think that the fast-paced element of it is almost a hindrance in some points because there's a lot of details that get left out, and then 2-3 pages something's mentioned and you're like, what? When did that happen? So that's why I'm bumping it down to a 4. Basically, Jamal and Marco, they're at the meeting, the Nemesis meeting, and the cops come in and they arrest everyone, including Marco and Jamal. And it was so stressful. And they beat Marco to like an inch of his life to use that against Jamal, that Jamal will give up Nemesis's secrets and everything he kind of knows about what's happened so far. And Jamal does give in and he gives that information to the cops. Then Jamal and Marco are rescued by this woman named Catherine, who is like has just finished her military training. But we find out that her parents actually are responsible for developing and creating the dome and these kind of like cyberpunk like suits that the cops are wearing. But her parents at the last minute were like, this is a terrible idea, and then they went missing because the government was like, So the trio are banding together to try and bring down the dome. And I don't think I'll go much further because I don't want to completely spoil the whole book, but I'm sort of in the final climax right now. There's like a big plan that the trio have, and I hope they pull it off. I hope this doesn't end sadly because I'm very invested in these 3 characters right now. So I'm gonna have a shower and then I'm gonna try and finish this evening. It's also Thursday, which means it's Critical Role night, which means it's episode 2 of the new EXU Calamity campaign. So obviously I'm gonna prioritize that because I'm only human and I'm only Critical Role trash. And let's see, I've got like 40 pages left, so I think I could probably whiz through that. And I will update you when I'm done, and we will pick my next read, and we will travel to the next part of the map. All right, I finished, and I'm definitely sticking with 4 out of 5. I did really, really enjoy the ending. It's kind of like a fun, hopeful ending. And I don't know if there's going to be sequels, but there's an option for that, the way the story is left. So I would be down. I would be down for a sequel for sure. In the author's note, Jackson wrote about how he came up with this idea like 3 days after George Floyd was killed, and basically spent sort of the pandemic writing this book, and he left a little message at the end that I really liked. He says, "Survive the Dome is a fiction book, but the reality in America isn't far off. If you learn one thing from this book, it's that one person or three persons can change the world. Never forget that." I thought that was really beautiful. That's it. Done. 4 out of 5. First book of the readathon is completed. And now I need to figure out what to read next.
Of Alexandria Calamity, a vision of an ancient past in the world of Alexandria, at the ending of the Age of Arcana and the beginning of something strange and horrifying. Oh my god. Got totally caught in a rainstorm on the way to work. It was not supposed to rain, and then it was like torrential downpour. Oh boy. Okay, let's talk about this next book that I'm reading, The Darkness Outside Us. I'm 50 pages in and I am definitely enjoying it. Sci-fi is definitely not my strong suit. Usually struggle to picture sci-fi novels. With this one, it's definitely not focused on the sci-fi aspect. It's sort of more about these two characters living in this world, so it's not too confusing for me, which is great. So basically, we have two characters who are both very handsome, and their names are Ambrose and Kodiak. And Ambrose, how do I explain this? Okay, so obviously this is set in the future, and from my understanding there is only two countries left on Earth, the Federation and the Democratia. Those are the two countries left. And the Democratia is giving me major kind of like Russia vibes, Eastern European type vibes, definitely more on the Russia side, whereas the Federation is very much like Britain taking over and colonizing everything, except it's the future, so they're like, where else can we colonize? The main character's sister, Minerva, has found another planet for humanity to live on called Titan. And it's one of Saturn's moons. And but she lands there, and after I think like 2 years, a distress signal comes out, which means, you know, there's something wrong. They don't know if Minerva is alive, but they're sending her brother Ambrose to basically go to Titan and find out what's going on, rescue her, or collect her dead body, if that may be the case. We start on the ship with Ambrose waking up. He has no memory. He knows that well, that's not true. Oh my god, I'm so bad at explaining books. Ugh, why am I doing this? Okay. From heading onto the spaceship to the point he is now, he has no memory. It seems like he had some sort of accident, and he's not sure what it is. The AI of the ship, who is very sassy and very funny, by the way, the AI is not telling him much yet, so he doesn't remember sort of that taking off part and how he even got injured. And what he finds out very quickly is there is a second person on this mission called Kodiak, and that was not the original plan. And he has no memory of Kodiak joining this mission. And Kodiak is coming from Democratia, whereas Ambrose is coming from the Federation. So he is very confused right now. Kodiak is very not friendly, and he kind of wants to do this mission separately. They are separated in the ship, but they can access each other. But yeah, Kodiak's not super friendly, and he is very like judgmental of Ambrose because he kind of has this like party boy, rich kid vibe going on. I am very curious to see where we're going. I want to know what happened. Why is Kodiak on this ship? And yeah, I don't know. I have no clue where it's going because I haven't read the synopsis. So clearly, because I just explained that so poorly. But like I said, very handsome men, especially Kodiak. That's this one right there. Yeah, he's all gruff and stubbly and long hair. And I'm like, exactly. I'm gonna go do a deep dive and try and read a bunch of this tonight. It's Friday evening. I have no plans, surprise, surprise, but I actually am a little bit busy this weekend because I'm gonna go see Hamilton. I have tickets to see Hamilton. It's gonna be wild. I'll take you guys with me. It's gonna be a fucking mess. But I'm gonna go see Hamilton on Sunday, and obviously that's like a 4-hour musical, so it's gonna be a big chunk of my Sunday. And then we're playing D&D tomorrow, but I have the evenings free, so I would really, really, really like to finish this weekend and maybe get like pretty far into a third book as well, because I think that would be awesome, because I'm really trying to push myself this month and read 20 books. That's my goal. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go read. So I totally forgot that I bought this when it came out, like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. And back then I didn't have any friends, period. But specifically any friends to play Dungeons and Dragons with. I played with a lot of like kind of strangers online and stuff, but now I actually have an amazing group of D&D friends, and I kind of want to run this. Like, look at the little Demogorgon, it's so cute. And like, this is the campaign booklet. So this is Mike's story, and it's so cute. Obviously I'll have to edit it a bit because I think this is really meant for like first time players, which is cute. I mean, this is a really accessible way for, you know, kids who watch Stranger Things who want to play D&D for the first time. This is a great way to do it, but I think it will be a little bit too like boring, maybe it's a little bit too simple for us. So I'm gonna work on this over the next few weeks and build us a little mini campaign set in the Stranger Things universe. I think it'd be really fun. I'm so glad that I found this. I forgot that I had it. Amazing. You guys, I just finished this. It's really, 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 really good. It was not what I was expecting at all. It has this like twist that happens kind of, I would say like a quarter of a way through, where you learn that, actually, I guess skip like a minute ahead if you don't want to be spoiled, but the boys learn that they're clones. They break into the engine room because things are starting to be weird and like the AI is acting all suspicious, and in the engine room they find 12 versions of themselves just waiting to be activated. And then it becomes kind of like this Groundhog Day situation where for like the middle of the book, the clones keep dying and then you start over with new clones, and then the new clones have to figure out that they're clones, but they get smarter and smarter and they survive longer. It doesn't get repetitive at all. It's really unique and like clever, and it has this like beautiful love story that literally spans thousands of years, and it has like a really uplifting, sweet ending. My little star-crossed lovers. I loved it. I just want to give it a hug. But yeah, book 2 done. So now I need to pick my next read, get this one all put in my journal, and tomorrow is Hamilton. Made my decision. The next book is The Inheritance Game, which is the Bengali stop on the map, and it is the prompt protective siblings. So that's what we're going to try and read next. You guys, I just got home from seeing Hamilton. I cannot put into words what that meant for me. I'm still very emotional, obviously. It was better than I could have ever hoped for it to be. The Canadian cast was flawless. The costumes were incredible. The music, the stage, the rotating stage. Oh. And getting to see Hurricane live on the rotating stage with all the furniture slow moving, I'm just... I can die tomorrow. It's fine. I could die right now. I don't care. That is the best my life is ever gonna be. And it was like a really good experience for me too. I was really nervous about my anxiety, but luckily there was like no one sitting in half my row, so I could just like sing and dance and live my best life and not have to worry about strangers being next to me. So that was really lucky. When the first song started, I was like singing along, and then this part of my brain was like, Charlotte, this is live. Like, you're not just listening to this in your ears from your iPhone. You are watching this live. And then I cried through the first probably 2 songs because I just couldn't fathom that this is really happening. And then I cried throughout the whole second half like I usually do. But it was okay because there's no one next to me, so I could just cry and cry and cry. And I'll never be the same. That was just the best thing that's ever happened to me. And obviously I picked up some merch. I got my Hamilton hoodie. I got my new Hamilton t-shirt. And here is the, what is it? Playbill? Handbill? Playbill? So this was today's cast. Pretty freaking incredible. Honestly, Aaron Burr was like, I can't deal with how good he was. All of them were amazing, but Aaron Burr was just like chillingly good. But yeah. Woo! Okay. I've calmed down. I want to do a reading update because I spent last night and this morning reading the Inheritance Games, and I am just over halfway through. It's thrilling. It's a really fast-paced read. I want to know what's going on. Basically, this follows a girl named Avery who has kind of had a rough go of it. Her mother passed away 2 years ago. She's struggling to be in school while also working, while also trying to deal with her sister's abusive ex-boyfriend. And suddenly she finds out that she is in this really, really wealthy guy's will, and his name is Tobias Hawthorne, and he is a billionaire, like so many B's, and she is the sole inheritor of his billions of dollars, and she has no idea why. She doesn't know who this guy is, but his whole family is pissed, and part of the conditions is that she has to live in his mansion with this family for a certain amount of time for the will to, you know, be given to her, like his inheritance to be given to her. And there is 4 Hawthorne grandsons, and they're kind of our main characters alongside Avery. They're all very broody and handsome and interesting. And yeah, it's really fascinating. And they're basically, the grandsons think that this might be some sort of puzzle. Like, the reason she was picked is because it's a puzzle for them to figure out, because they grew up with Tobias Hawthorne as their grandfather, and he would make them do puzzles like every weekend. So yeah, I want to know how, what, who, I don't know, but I'm really freaking enjoying it. You don't like it, Boo Boo? Boo Boo's not a Phantom of the Opera fan, apparently. All right, it's time to wrap up this first week vlog. I have finished the Inheritance Games. It was really, really thrilling, really exciting, ended on a massive cliffhanger, so I went and picked up the sequel today because I want to get to that very quickly, but not super quick, because I think the third book in the trilogy comes out this August. So just in case that second book also ends on a cliffhanger, I'm gonna read it like July, so I don't have to wait too long. But yeah, highly recommend. Believe the hype. It is well deserved. This book is super exciting. And that's it for the first week. I read 3 books, finished 3 prompts, and yeah, join me in the second, and we'll see if I can keep up this large amount of reading, because I really want to get to 20 books this month. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.